Vice President of National Sales for Turnkey Corrections and retired sheriff from Cass County, North Dakota. We're doing a little bit of a different kind of a Jail Talk episode this week. We have our standard Jail Talk where we have our guest and we interviewed Janelle Lamb, wife of Sheriff Mark Lamb. That episode was so fun to do, just a chance to talk to her and talk about her life and what's going on and be able to share with our law enforcement families some of her experiences. And we are live on the road here. We are in Reno, Nevada for the Western States Sheriff's Association's annual conference. And where we go, Jail Talk goes. And Lauren and I have been having a blast. And today we were going to do something just a little bit different because you're probably wondering who's this guy sitting next to me here. Well, this is my teammate in more ways than one. This is Brad Riley. He's with Kimble's Food by Design. He's their regional sales manager from North Carolina. But you and I have a little bit of a history, don't we?
Yes, sir.
So Brad and I were sheriffs together. We were also national board members together on the National Board of NSA. We dealt with a lot of the sheriff's issues around the country as board members. You chaired the Homeland Security Committee for NSA. I was a member of the Homeland Security. My Special Ops Committee got absorbed into your committee, and so we chewed a lot of dirt. Did you ever think we'd be co-workers from across the country as we combined? So.
Yeah, I did not. We would come together a couple times during the year and get an opportunity to share our family stories and how things are going back home, and then we'd go back our own ways. And several thousand miles away, just gets to be long after a while. So, we both retired at the same time. 3 years ago, and hadn't talked since then with COVID and everything that's going on. So this has given us a good opportunity to reunite, rekindle that friendship and that spirit that we had created for many, many years. And I'm excited.
It has been fun, and for those that aren't aware, Turnkey Corrections and Kimble's Food by Design have merged. We're one company, one family. The Westby, Tim and Todd Westby, our owners, have bought Kimble's, and we've had a chance over the last couple months to go down there and meet our new teammates down there. They've had a chance to come up here, and when we found out about the merger, we were on the phone to each other like, holy cow, I mean, you're in North Carolina, I'm in northern Minnesota now, I'm from North Dakota, and thinking back to all the time we talked, and just now that we get to bring both of our sheriff experience to our new families in the vendor world, and what I do for Turnkey, what you do for Kimble's, and we found that we're really one family and one group of people. And I'll never forget, and this is probably a memory you don't want to remember, but I'll never forget all those times I knew you. We were all at that Super Bowl party at NSA. And man, your Carolina Panthers were going strong, and you could just tell how much you loved your football team. And I felt so bad for you that night.
That was our one shining moment.
Yeah. So we've got to have some fun together, do some different things, and I'll bring our experience here to the sheriff. From the sheriff world to both of our companies. We work for jails. We work for sheriffs out there, and it's just fun. I think that you and I are going to get to bring our perspectives. There's a lot going on in the sheriff's world right now. If as you look at that from where we were at 3 years ago and what's happening now, what hits you now about what's happening in the country?
Well, the pandemic and COVID, it's just different. I mean, I'm 54 years old, served as sheriff for 18 years, and we had our annual disasters and hazards and things that we dealt with. But the pandemic was a global issue, and it pitched total different scenarios to law enforcement across the world. And then within all of that, we had a lot of the social injustice things that spurred up. And the challenges have been great for law enforcement. People ask all the time, I'm sure they do, you too, as being retired, is, aren't you glad you got out at the right time? And, my answer was, I didn't pick and choose when I was going to get out of it.
Right.
Time dictated that, and no, I don't. I still love law enforcement. I still love the law enforcement officers. Still pray for them every day, and I think they've been resilient in this pandemic. So, I think it has been. We're on the back side of it now, and I think that law enforcement is winning in the end.
I agree. I think, as we look at what happened, you said everything just kind of came down on everybody at once. I don't care if you were a northern sheriff, southern sheriff. The sheriff's offices were not only were they having to deal with all the stuff happening out, with a lot of the riots and a lot of the social injustice allegations and the road that went. Then on top of it, the pandemic, when they're having to lock down their jails and just every nightmare. We would go in. We support jails, so we're obviously in there doing our thing. And people ask me the same thing: are you glad you're gone? And I'm like, I'm a sheriff for the rest of my life. I'm just not actively serving anymore. It's like, as being a Marine. I was a United States Marine. I am a Marine for the rest of my life. Maybe not quite. I'm not lean, not as lean, and not as mean, but you still have that philosophy of, I'm a Marine, and it will be forever. I feel that way with our law enforcement brothers and sisters, is that we have just as much of a responsibility now to have their back, bring our wisdom, bring our knowledge, help them with anything that we can help them with. And I know as we've sat and talked over the last couple of days and said, let's do a little mini-sode, as we call these, and talk about the fact that we're coming together and that, companies like ours can be out there completely supporting all of you out there. And that's what we do. Yes, we're in the vendor world, and yes, it is the corporate world, but at the same time, our passion and both of our companies, that was so cool about our two companies coming together as one, is that passion to take care of our sheriffs and to serve them, and now we get to do it together. So we thought, what a better time to debut the merger and the fact that you and I are now working together again for a common goal and getting out there and get it done for our nation sheriffs.
Well, it's really neat that Turnkey and Kimble's, both companies, are similar in size. A lot of the same, we have a lot of the same policies and procedures and protocols. But at the end of the day, it's really neat that we've come together and that both of our companies are so far apart from each other miles wise. But the ideology is wrapped around, look, law enforcement has made us.
Exactly.
And very few vendors in our industry anymore look at it that way. But you look at the investment that both of our companies, Kimble and Turnkey, have made back into law enforcement.
Absolutely.
And understand that putting folks like you and I and the rest of our teams back in front of these agencies to let them know that, look, we understand what you go through and what your staffs and your scheduling and all of those, pandemics, and we're appreciative of that. And as we make company decisions and business decisions about how to move forward and what's best, they bring that spirit to the table, and so a lot of our decisions are made based off of how can we best serve the law enforcement agencies.
Well, and let's face it, we both know we're not here because of these mugs. We're not the models of the agencies, but what we do is we do two things. We speak sheriff and we speak jail administrator. And those were our backgrounds. That's what we've done, and we're here because of that, and we get to bring that. And I like to realize our ownership groups were very cognizant of the fact that's why they recruited us, is that we can come in. We want to know what our sheriffs need. We need to know what our clients want, and we want you guys to tell us what that is and be part of this. And it's been really fun. So my friend, my brother, I can't tell you how awesome it is to be your teammate, to be one company, two names, one company, one family, out doing our thing. So we're going to do some good things, brother.
Looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun. I like to tease him a little bit about he's from the South, so his rate of speech is a little slower than mine. Mine's Mach 3, so I was kind of telling him, like, okay, I'll try to slow down and talk. But what was it you told me you were going to do with my words? Teach me how to.
A couple of things. First of all, we talk slow so you get it all. We want to make sure that you hear it all. Second of all, is we're gonna work on maybe cutting some of your words down so we can round the corners.
All right.
Like instead, we'll teach you words like fixing. We're fixing to do this.
Fixing to do something, fixing to get it done. All right, you'll teach y'all. I know that. The bless your heart, all that. All right, well, let's teach you Yasher and Ope.
Okay.
All right, fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right, well, thanks for joining on JailTalk. Can't wait to hit the road with you. We're going to have some fun in the coming years. And thanks for tuning in and getting a chance to let us talk about the new excitement here at Turnkey and Kimble's. And we'll see you guys out there. Take care.